Okay. We've been locked out of the agency.
How are we gonna get back in? I mean, Crazy Kangaroo has taken over.
We're gonna have to do some ninja skills.
Yes.
Ninja skills.
Some sneaky skills.
Okay.
All right. So I don't think we can go in through all the doors, so I think we're gonna have to climb up.
Up.
Can we do that?
I have my plungers. We can do it.
Let's go.
We got here. Okay. Let's go see. He's right there.
Better go get him.
Let's go right on stage. 3, 2, 1, go! Ah! Ah! Here we go.
We'll get him. We'll get him this time. Congratulations. You have been accepted into the Mission Training Agency. Our agents are trained to know God and make Him known through prayer, worship, community, and by knowing their Bible. The Bible is the book that points to God. Through it, we see His plan for all of creation, from beginning to end, and you are part of this plan. Before today's training starts, I encourage you to have a Bible on hand. Your training agents will be with you shortly. Welcome to Mission Training Agency.
Hello, agents. Hello? Agent A? Agent B? Are you there? Where are they?
Chief, we're here. We're here.
We're here.
Woo.
Why didn't you answer right away?
You wouldn't believe what we had to go through to get here today.
Not believe.
Did you climb the building to come in through the top to enter the agency from behind to scare off Crazy Kangaroo, who had temporarily taken control of the agency?
How could you know that?
Maybe.
There's not much that happens in the Mission Training Agency without my knowing of it. I had full trust that you would handle the situation.
Chief, but what's our mission today?
I think taking back the agency counts as a successful mission.
Oh, I mean, come on, Chief. We're ready for more. Let's give us another mission.
Well, if you insist, God is the King. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to learn why God is the King and build him a throne.
Like Elvis Presley.
No. The King. The King of Kings. The Bible is very clear that there is no one like him. God is all-powerful, all-knowing, and always with us. But there's more.
Really? There's more?
Agents, trainees, you are doing good work. Keep it up. And I look forward to checking in with you later.
Okay, so this is an exciting mission.
It is fun. Where do we start?
Well, You know what? We always start with the database. I want to start with the Bible first.
Oh,
So,
I'm going to go to the database because I really like the database.
all right.
So,
Let's see. So we have to find out what the Bible says about like God being the king, not just a king. He is the king. And then we have to make him a throne. But what kind of throne do we make him? Like, we got to figure out what kind of king he is.
I mean, knowing God, it must be a big throne.
Well, yeah, he does. He holds the whole world in his hands.
This one's so good. This one's so good. Wait,
Ooh.
My word, no, but this one's going to be so good.
What, you indecisive back there?
Hold
on.
Maybe.
Ooh,
We can just do all of the ones that really... Oh, no, this one.
Wait.
What?
Maybe this will help you make a decision. Okay. Here, listen to what it says in Psalms. It says, God has ascended with a mighty shout. The Lord has ascended with trumpets blaring. Sing praises to God. Sing praises. Sing praises to our King. Sing praises. For God is the King over all the earth. Praise him with a psalm. God reigns above the nations, sitting on his holy throne. The rulers of the world have gathered together with the people of God of Abraham. For all the kings of the earth belong to God. He is highly honored everywhere. How cool, look at that. They talked about him being a king and having a throne, but being like the best king of all kings.
The best thing of all kings. One thing I loved what Chief was talking about, how he was like all powerful and all knowing.
Yeah.
He was always with us. Like we talked about a couple weeks ago.
We did.
Like that would be a pretty cool king, but I still want to know more about how God is the king.
It's true. All right, so what did you find in the database? Did you make a decision?
Yes, I made my decision.
Sweet.
It's this one right here. I think it goes really well with what you just read. I'm going to put it in.
Awesome.
Welcome, agents. Today, I'd like to talk to you about a king. Over and over in the Bible, God is described as a king. And Jesus, as he came to earth, was described that he would enter like a king, this majestic imperial entrance, and which actually didn't show up quite the way we thought it would. When Jesus came in, he was riding on a donkey, and people were throwing down their coats and branches in front of him. It wasn't exactly the way a king comes in. But when a king comes into town, everybody knows it. Everybody's screaming and chanting and being excited. Why? Because royalty is there. There's majesty around them. They're in awe of all that they're seeing. And that's what a king looks like. And now imagine going into the presence of a king, into the place where a king is in his throne room. And now you've got all the fanciest furniture. You've got like all the highest valued objects that are all there. This is like the top thing, and there's guards all over the place because the king is in residence. He's majestic, he's powerful, he is ruling over everything, and that's the king. Well, it actually makes me think of one of my favorite videos. There's this video that gets the audio, just the sound, from an old sermon from a guy that has got the coolest voice, and his name is S.M. Lockridge. And he goes on and on about describing his king, and he's indescribable, and he's this and he's that, and do you know my king, and on and on and on and on, and he paints this picture that's just so awesome. You've got to listen to it. Actually, you could find it. Have your parents help you find it. It's called That's My King by S.M. Lockridge. You can find it on YouTube. You got to watch this thing. I have watched it. I can't tell you how many times I have watched this video. And every time I do, it goes on and on, and it makes me feel awe-inspired because that's my king. Not some earthly king that sits in a throne room with his robes on and his scepter and all those things. My king, who is all powerful, who is all knowing. We've heard this before, right? Omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. Those big words that say all that our king is. Jesus is our king. He rules over everything. There's nothing he can't take care of. There's nothing that's too big for him. He's got it all. That's my king.
That is so cool. I love all the things that he said about how God is the king. Some of those words are like, how can I even describe or explain that?
I don't think I knew. I didn't understand a lot of the words, but what they painted a picture was how big, how powerful, how all-knowing, how amazing God is.
It reminds me of one of my favorite stories in the entire Bible.
What's that?
And it's about Moses.
Ooh.
When God called Moses to go
Uh-huh.
save the Israelites out of slavery, and they had the 10 plagues.
How is that your favorite story, and how does that tie in with God being a king?
It's not my favorite story, but it's one of the most extravagant stories in the whole
Really?
Bible. And in the story of Moses,
Uh-huh.
they had the plagues, but here's the thing, that the Egyptians, the people who were treating the Israelites bad, and the people
Uh-huh.
who enslaved the Israelites, they worshipped a ton of different gods.
Yeah, that's
God
true.
after God after God.
God of
tons them.
bugs, God of the water, God of the sun.
And none of their gods were even real.
That's true.
And so when Moses went and he went to go set the Israelites free, each one of the plagues, each time that Pharaoh said, "No, I will not set your people free from slavery," each plague proved that God was better than any of the other gods that the Egyptians
yeah.
had, and that it proved that he was more powerful
Uh-huh.
than even King Pharaoh. So here's the thing about Egypt in those days.
Uh-huh.
Egypt was the most powerful and rich country in the entire world at that time. They were the center of culture.
Uh-huh.
Their art and their buildings were
true.
bigger than everyone else's. They had bigger armies than anyone else.
I've even seen the pyramids. I have been to Egypt. They're cool, and it makes you feel really tiny.
They're humongous. And here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Over and over in the plagues, God proved that he was more powerful than Pharaoh. And he was more powerful than their gods.
So he was greater than the greatest kings at that time. I mean, he's still greater than all the kings of all our time. I mean, that's really cool. You know, I feel like how can we? Chief gave us the challenge of building a throne, but where do we even start?
I think the first part was we need our actual seat for a throne.
Okay.
So we
Well, we have
right here. I see it right here.
We do?
We go grab it.
Ooh.
Seat for our throne.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay.
here's our seat. But
But it's kind of like it's not very grand. It's low. I feel like for as big as God is and stuff, it needs to be bigger. Not because He wants us to seem smaller, but just the vastness,
because
the
he
wonder
is so big and powerful. He's more powerful than the kings.
So we need to make this taller.
I think here's a table right here.
We have a table.
So we have
Ooh, that table. Okay.
this table. And we can lift it up. Do you got it?
All right, that's better.
That's better.
Here. All right, but this is now just looks like a brown table or a brown chair on a blue table. Doesn't exactly say, "Hey, royalty, sit here."
What colors are like royalty?
Well, you know, the Bible actually talks about that. Purple.
Purple?
Purple was a royal color because it was so difficult to have and it was expensive. So purple. We usually think of gold because that's
Gold,
valuable.
Silver.
I mean, I think of red sometimes.
Wait a second. Let's go see. Is there anything over here? Oh, back here. Let's go look
here?
back here.
Hold on.
Found it. There's some goldish stuff.
Let's see.
I thought I saw purple stuff. Do you know where that went?
Check the equipment lab.
Right here. I got it. Here we go. Purple. That would be so cool. And then where do we put purple, do you think? Should we put it
I
on
kind
the
of,
top?
yeah, I want to hide that brown.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know that, like, in the Bible, they talked about how the garments of God's, like, cloak fills the temple. And to me,
Yes.
that, as a kid, that was always an interesting imagery to think of someone so big that a giant building like the temple they had in Israel, that just the edge of his cloak would fill it. Like, God is so big and
He
so
is
amazing.
that big. One thing that's also said in the Bible is so cool that we need a grand throne, but he is the King of Kings, just like the king of Egypt couldn't even stand up to the power of God. one thing that I loved about
Mm-hmm.
it, each plague specifically proved that God was more powerful than any of the other gods in Egypt.
Okay, so for an example, they had the plague of when the sun went completely dark.
When
How
the
did that
sun
one?
became completely dark. One thing that the Egyptians
Uh-huh.
worshipped that was a false god, that God that wasn't true, but they worshipped the sun. And
Ooh.
when one of the plagues, God blocked out the sun entirely.
He made it so it was completely dark, except where the Israelites were.
Except where the Israelites were. And it's crazy because where the Egyptians lived, they would walk outside the middle of the day, and where it's supposed to be nice and sunny, and they could go and like swim in the pool, but they walked out, it was as dark as night. As dark as night. And it proved that God was even more powerful than the God of the sun that they thought they worshipped. And they did that over and over again. And one of the other gods was, oh, that's super cool. I like that. But one of the other gods they worshipped was a god who is often depicted as a frog.
A frog?
Yeah, as a frog.
They worshipped a frog god?
A frog. And I think it's the god of the river, the god of the Nile, because they lived right along one of the largest rivers in the entire world. And one of the gods they worshipped was like a frog. And one of the plagues they did was one of the plague that they did. That God sent for that.
Let's see. Well, there was the frogs, and you had the water turned to blood.
The water turned to
That was
blood
gross.
too.
Ooh.
And the frogs that were everywhere
And
as
the
well.
bugs. The
And
bugs that were
bugs.
everywhere. Let's see. The food. The famine. Like,
There was a famine. God proved over and over that he was more powerful than their gods. He is more powerful than Pharaoh, and that he was the King of kings and the God of gods.
and he was the king of the Israelites because
Yes.
where they were, there was none of the plagues. There was light when there was no light. There was food when there was no food. There was no frogs. There was no bugs. They didn't have the different boils and the different things that had it. Like, God was their king and was overcoming the people who overcame them. That's pretty cool.
And eventually, after the last plague, their king finally submitted. Your God is real. I have to submit to your God. I will let the Israelites go. And he set them free
That's cool.
from slavery.
I love how God, we talked about last week, God provided. And in this time, God provided a way for the Israelites to leave Egypt. And if I remember correctly, the Egypts were so ready for the Israelites to go that if the Israelites asked them for anything, they could take anything. If it was food, if it was jewelry, anything that would
Like
supply them, they
Silver
could go.
and gold, right?
Silver and gold.
They literally go, can I have your silver and gold? The Egyptians like, take anything you want as long as you leave and get out of here because your God is so powerful.
So God even provided them. They were slaves, and now they were free and on their own. That's amazing. But I don't feel like our throne is quite
Do you think we
there.
need some more gold, some shiny gold?
Maybe. I mean,
Oh, do we need this crown? Buddy, I'm going to borrow this crown to go on top.
oh, there we go. That feels more.
There's a bit better. Here's some more stuff right here.
This makes me think of, we think of crowns being gold and full of gems and all of this stuff. But there's also another story of a crown that was not made of gold and how God showed kingship in a more unusual way.
It reminds me of a passage in Isaiah.
Ooh, in Isaiah?
We can go to Isaiah.
I feel like the big
I think it's
Bible needs to be
Isaiah
by
9.
this
I'm going to go look at the Bible on my phone.
I bet you're probably going to beat me there
I'll
because
beat you there. Let's go see.
Isaiah, this is
Isaiah.
Zechariah,
Isaiah.
Jeremiah. Isaiah what?
Isaiah 9.
Isaiah 9.
Let's see. For 6 and 7, Isaiah 9, 6 and 7, it says this.
Yes.
It says this.
Oh, listen.
For to us a child is born. To us a son is given. And the government will be on his shoulders. He will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatest of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign as a king on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness forever. From that time on and forever, the zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this. That there will be a king, and his reign will never end.
Awesome.
And he would be born as a baby. And we're about to go into the Christmas season. He's born in a manger. His name was Jesus. And he grew up just like you and I. He lived among us, the Son of God. And just like we talked about, the very people he came to rescue, the very people, his own people rejected him, yet he was the light of the world. And then at the very end, they put him on the cross. They put the crown of thorns on his head.
They didn't give him a crown full of jewels.
And this man, as he was this baby in the manger, this man who grew up and died on the cross with the crown of thorns, was the prophesied king who is supposed to have an everlasting kingdom, a kingdom that would never end. And his name was Jesus. Yet he was on the cross with the crown of thorns.
That's awesome.
He died for you and me so that we could join him in that kingdom. You see, Jesus didn't want to just rule over all the kingdom without his subjects, but he wanted you and me there with him.
I love that he's a king that came to save his people, not control or to have them basically be slaves to them. He came humbly, meekly to serve and save.
He is a king who is a pleasure to serve, that his subjects love to be around him and love to serve him. Not a king that people are scared of. Not a king that enslaves people. Not a king that is violent and rage and whenever you walk into his throne room, you're scared of the things he might do. But he is a God who leaves his throne room to come to you and spend time with you, who wants to leave his throne, his house, to come to you where you're at, wherever you are, and spend time with you. And a king like that is deserving not of a crown of thorns, but of a crown of gold and jewels, beyond anything that we could ever imagine. A throne that is lifted up and exalted. Even we try to make a throne that's worthy, but a throne that we could ever make, even if we're the most skillful craftsmen, we would never be able to build a throne that is worthy enough for Jesus.
But that's the beauty, is what he wants isn't for us to build him a grand thing. He wants us, and that's amazing. Okay, I see the message. Messages. Okay.
Morning, agents. Glad to see that you guys got back into the agency. That was great. Usually I have skills testings for you right now, but I am still working on fixing the system that Crazy Kangaroo broke. So instead, I have a special message from someone important. Go to Agent Toaster to see what it is.
Okay, she's got a message.
Agent Toaster!
Agent Toaster!
Toaster! Toaster! Toaster! Toaster!
All right, let's see. What do you got for us, friend?
What do you got for us, Toaster?
I'm not seeing anything yet.
Come on.
Oh!
It's not toast.
It's
a
not
letter.
toast. Okay.
Let's just grab it.
All right. She said
Ooh, fancy
from
wax seal.
someone important. Who do
Someone
you
important.
think?
We should open it up and see.
That's a good idea.
Okay, 3,
2, 1.
One.
Oh,
Call.
Chief!
We were about to.
Nice timing.
You sound frustrated.
Well, we were about to open the secret message that Agent Ames gave us to read, but you called right when we were about to open it, and she said it was from someone important. Is it you?
No, if it's what I think it is indeed from someone important.
Ooh, that's exciting. I can't wait to open it.
I wanted to check in to see what you learned about God being the king and the throne that you built. But I think I will just let you get back to reading your message. You aren't going to want to miss it.
Thanks, Chief.
Agents, trainees, I will talk with you later.
Okay, I just
we gotta
cannot
open
wait.
it.
I feel like it's someone important. We better be by something that is important.
You
All right.
ready? You ready?
1, 2, 3.
No. I ripped it a little bit. Oh, no way. That is so
I can't
awesome.
believe he sent us a message.
That is so awesome.
I have no words for this.
Keep this nice and safe right by the
this is
throne, right where it deserves to be.
I think we need to do what it says. And we
You
gotta
know,
share this with the others.
We need to tell all the other agents. We need to tell everyone outside
Our
the agency.
trainees. I mean, the people that are walking down the streets. I mean, this is incredible. And we can't
So
keep it to
incredible.
ourselves.
I just love how God is so powerful.
He
And
is.
how he loves this. I think
He's the greatest king that has ever been.
I mean, even think about it, even way back we've been talking about, he's the king who created every single other king. He is God, the creator. He is all powerful, all knowing. He is always with us.
Always with us. And we have the Bible that will always point us back to him. And our mission is to know him and make him known.
Our mission is to know him and make him known. I love how
That's
we
so
can look in this
crazy.
Bible and how this whole Bible points
to
the King of Kings, the King who's above all other kings.
the king who took down Egypt, the king who saved his people,
The King who died for us on the cross so that we can know him.
and the king that loves us to this day.
I love this so much. We need to go tell
We
the
do.
people.
Come on.
Let's go. Hello!